the ever-evolving landscape of Disney, sequels have become something of a curious beast. They're like those distant cousins who show up at family reunions, familiar enough to feel comfortable, but just different enough to make you feel slightly uncomfortable. Moana 2, the latest film from Walt Disney Animation Studios, fits precisely into this category. A film that's at the same time a loving tribute to its predecessor and a testament to the internet-era approach to storytelling. So how does it play out? Well, we rejoin Moana and Maui 3 years after their first adventure. Moana, played again here by Auliʻi Cravalho, spends her days exploring the islands around her own, searching for evidence of other human tribes. In a vision, she learns where they've gone, disappeared thanks to the machinations of the malicious storm god Nalo, and what to do to bring them back, raise an island from the ocean floor. Gathering a team from her village, she sets off to accomplish this. Along the way, she runs into the demigod Maui again, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who warns her against her plan, telling her she and her friends may not survive if they persist. Undeterred, Moana continues trying to find the island, but will she manage to locate it? And if she does, will she be able to raise it without the storm god Nalo stopping her? And will this be enough to bring the disappeared people back? There's no doubt that Moana herself remains the most interesting element of this second film. Proactive, determined, and genuinely likeable. Her chemistry with Maui continues to be the beating heart of the story. That almost sassy daughter, dorky father dynamic that made the original so charming. Johnson, unsurprisingly, remains the comedic highlight. His timing's impeccable, particularly when he's riffing with the chicken and pig, and he has the comedic precision of a stand-up. Maybe he could have been one if he'd wanted. Moana 2's newer characters, on the other hand, are where things start to feel a bit, how can I put it, algorithmic. They're less characters and more just walking cliches, plot devices designed to make sure Moana isn't just talking to herself on a boat for half the film. It's like the writers had a checklist of diverse supporting character traits and mechanically ticked them off one by one. Serviceable, but dull as hell and lacking that genuine spark of creativity. Visually, Moana 2, like the first film, is a feast. Disney's colour palette continues to be utterly beautiful. Those deep inky skies, oceanic blues and lush green islands are so vivid they almost feel like characters themselves. It's a reminder that in animation, colour and framing aren't just decoration, they are storytelling. Every image in Moana 2 is a postcard you can hang on your fridge, and at times this alone makes up for the narrative shortcomings. The directorial approach, as stated in my intro, feels caught between nostalgia and modern sensibilities. Where the first Moana felt like a classic Disney VHS era movie, this sequel beats with internet age rhythms, faster dialogue, more meta jokes, and an exhausting sense of self-awareness. There are only 8 years between the films, but all the same it's sad to watch a movie pay homage to its roots while trying to speak the language of a new generation. Pacing is definitely an area where Moana 2 falls down too. The film takes its time introducing Maui, which worked in the first movie but feels less justified here. There's a sense that the story is stretching itself thin, reaching desperately for narrative justification. Why does Moana need to go on another journey? I wouldn't say the film ever really answers this in a satisfactory way. The soundtrack doesn't quite capture the magic of its predecessor either. Where the original gave us earworms like How Far I'll Go and You're Welcome, these new songs feel more functional than memorable. They're less musical storytelling and more narrative exposition set to a melody. Like the songwriters were working from a technical brief. We need a jaunty tune here, an emotional one there, rather than being inspired by the characters' emotional journeys. Humour remains a bright spot, as mentioned earlier. Maui's funny moments are genuinely hilarious and have me laughing aloud a few times. There's a delight in lines like, "It's Maui time," that suggest the creators knew exactly what audiences loved about their characters. But in this last point too lies Moana 2's biggest fault. As I said recently in my Gladiator 2 review, nostalgia is a powerful drug in modern filmmaking, and Moana 2 is a perfect case study. It knows exactly which buttons to push, which memories to trigger. The callbacks to the first film are designed to make the audience feel warm and fuzzy, but the problem is I'm not 100% sure they will. The movie Maverick has a little son of about the right age for all these Disney films, and his favourite of the lot happens to be the first Moana. And while he's young, he's not daft. And when we get around to watching this new one with him, he'll know a retread when he sees it. I'm willing to bet this won't hold his attention in the same way something new, something fresh certainly would. Moana 2 is a good film, like most of Disney's are these days, but like Gladiator 2, it won't have the lasting impact of the first one. Instead, it represents the current state of sequels. Competent, colourful, but ultimately a rehash dressed for the internet age. Anyway, nothing more to say. This is Movie Maverick signing out.